So this lecture, you guys, this lecture is probably the most important academic thing I will teach you guys all year. It might be the most important academic thing you guys learn in middle school. Okay, it's going to save you in high school and it'll save you in college. I am about to teach you how not to read.
Oh yeah, sounds like a plan.
It is an awesome skill. I'm telling you guys. So, a couple things. I went to college and I failed out of college. And I want you guys to know while I was failing out of college, I was reading like 3 to 6 hours a day. I was really trying to do the right thing. In college, they tell you to read 3 chapters and come back in 2 days for class. And they tell you that in multiple classes. And so I was literally reading and reading and reading. How much was I retaining?
Nothing.
Hardly anything at all. Okay, so then I'm failing out of college. I think I suck at college, so I joined the military. And so everything's great for about a year until they start handing me books to read, like they're handing me field manuals. And I'm reading, and the sergeant's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm reading this field manual." He's like, "You're an idiot." I'm like, "That was weird." And so like later he walks by, he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're still reading?" I'm like, "I'm still reading, Sergeant." And he's like, "You're an idiot." I really didn't understand. Okay, he taught me how not to read. And then I went to college and I rocked college. Okay, and I'm currently in college, and this is my textbook, Making Content Comprehensible for English Learners. Who wants to read that book? Huh?
I do.
Yeah, no,
I don't understand.
I'm not reading this book.
I will.
I'm not. But do I have to know what's in the book?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to look at this, and we're going to use 4.1. We're going to use section 4.1 as an example. What I'm actually teaching you guys is outlining, but if I tell everybody, hey, we're going to learn outlining today, everyone just stops paying attention and doesn't do anything. So I'm going to continue teaching you how not to read. The trick here is you guys are going to learn how to get information out of textbooks very quickly and effectively, have that information that you need, and save hours and hours and hours of time. Every year I get emails from kids saying thank you for teaching me stuff, and this shows up almost every year, and they're telling me stories like, I forgot to read, so I came into school and someone was like, oh my gosh, did you read those 2 chapters? They sucked, and they panicked, and they sat down and they outlined those 2 chapters in 10 or 15 minutes, and then they did well on their quiz, test, whatever. And so this is a wicked awesome skill you guys have to have, okay? So you guys should just learn this. You guys have 4.5 years of school left at least, and if you go into college, you'll really thank me. So this is a blank piece of paper. All right, so this is your page 102, right? And so like we have a line across the page where you have a line across the page, right? And on the very top, we're going to start out with what we call an IVF statement. IVF, all right? Now that IVF, it's very simple. It's just a way that we categorize our notes so you always know what the notes are about. So first we have to identify where we got the notes. So the identify here is section 4.1. Now I'm going to write sloppy up here and messy, and you guys aren't going to be able to read it. Where does it say section 4.1?
Right there.
At the top of your book. So everything that I'm scribbling on this board, you guys should actually be taking right out of your book, okay? Now this next V is a verb. Well, the verb for textbooks, we're always going to say they explain. Okay? So section 4.1 explains what? Can someone tell me what it explains?
Living inherent traits and patterns.
Okay, very good. Was that really hard to find that information?
Yeah.
No, it's right on top of the page, right? So let's write that down. So section 4.1 explains living things inherit, what do they inherit? Traits. Traits and patterns?
Yeah.
Okay? Traits and patterns. I should probably get on the same page as you guys. Might make it a little easier, huh?
That's just a little bit.
All right, cool. So, traits and patterns. All right, so now we have an IVF statement. We know that this whole section's about, right? Now, here's the mistake kids make. They think that since they read the section heading, they know enough to not read the section. And that's wrong. That's just too general. Okay, so we have to get a little more information out. So, what's the next important thing on that page?
40 words.
I'm not going to read that crap. Is there a picture on it? Yeah, but is there anything written next to that picture or under that picture?
No.
Yeah, I'm not wasting my time on a picture if they're not even going to tell me what it is. All right, say it again.
Parents and offspring.
Parents and offspring are similar. You guys, they wrote that huge and they put it in a different color. They probably want you to know that. So I'm going to do this. First of all, I'm going to make 3 columns. All right? The first column is for big ideas. The next column is for little ideas. Okay, and this last one is for like random notes. Okay, and so sometimes you'll have a picture here. Sometimes the instructor will tell you to read a chapter, and then they'll talk about something that's not even in the chapter, and you like fill this whole column with notes. Okay, but the idea here is you'll have these outlines, and when you go into lecture, if they talk crazy fast like I do, and they teach blah 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 blah, you'll be able to keep up, and you won't miss anything. Okay, so in the big idea, we're going to start out with a star. Do you guys remember star dot dash?
Yeah.
You probably use that in writing, right? That's how they write these textbooks. So star, what was that thing they said?
Parents and offspring are similar.
Parents and offspring are, see how I just wrote the letter R? Similar.
Yeah.
You guys, these are kind of shorthanded, but we can't cut out a lot of words because parents and offspring are both scientific terms. Okay, they're important. All right? And I'm looking at the rest of the page and I don't see anything else, so I'm going to flip the page. But before I do, that star, what page are we on? 101, right? So I wrote 101 in the corner, now I'm going to flip it. All right, what's the next important thing on the page? No, you skipped something important.
Sections are on.
There you go. Yell it for me again, just because it's fun.
Sexual reproduction.
There you go. All right, so check it out. Ready? Star, dot, dash. Here we go. Here's a dot right here. Sexual reproduction. Okay, now, dash. We're going to give the definition for that. We're not going to make up a definition for that. Oh my gosh, the last hour I did not understand. Yes, I'm teaching you how not to read. But what I'm really teaching you is to not waste your time reading everything. You still have to read a few things. So if you look where it's bolded, it says sexual reproduction. And then right after it, it gives you a definition. All right, it says during sexual reproduction, a cell containing genetic information from a mother and a cell containing genetic information from a father combine in a completely new cell. Okay? That's a lot, right? So here's what I'm going to write. Okay? Let's see. Cells from mom and dad combine to make a new cell. Okay? That's really important. I didn't have to write everything down from there. But I do have cells from a mom, and technically it's a cell from a mom and a cell from a dad combined to make a new cell. Is it exactly like mom? Is it exactly like dad? No, so it is a new cell. It's a totally new cell. Okay? All right, so check it out. We got that going. All right, and let's see. Underneath it, do we have a new star statement? All right, so we're going to do another star here. And try and keep these lined up pretty, you guys, because it'll help you later. Okay? Star. And it says genes are on chromosome pairs. Genes are on chromosome pairs. Genes are on chromosome pairs. Now, underneath that, how many vocab words do we have in that section?
Three.
3, right? There's one on the next page. There you go. So what if I went dot, and then left a couple spaces, dot, left a couple spaces, dot, and then over here I have dash, dash, dash. And you guys write your definitions here and your words here. You keep doing that. I'm going to walk around and check on you guys, make sure you're getting this, okay? And I'm telling you guys are doing good. Well, you guys are doing really well. This is incredibly helpful later in your academic life. Fun fact, you're not actually learning stuff right now. You're just outlining stuff. Outlines are designed to get you a lot of information quickly, not learn. If you just did this, you actually wouldn't learn very much. But if you look over these later, you have the potential to learn a whole lot. All right, you guys, so I'm jumping to a new page. You don't have to jump to a new page, but I'm jumping because I ran out of space. So I'm going to go to my next star, okay? Did we put a, let me go back. Did you put the page number on that last star? What was the page number for that last one?
102.
102. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to my next star, and it says Gregor Mendel made some important discoveries about heredity. Okay. So if you guys are still doing the last three words and their definitions, if you guys can just leave space for those and jump onto what I'm doing now, I'm going to show you your next important concept on outlining. Okay. So we have a star, and it says Gregor Mendel made some important discoveries on heredity. Then underneath it, we're going to have a dot, and this dot says example. Okay. And then there's two dashes to it. How do I know? Well, because there's part 1 and 2. But are there any pictures on that page explaining that example? Were there any new vocab words in that example? Do you want to read that whole example? You have two options now on the not reading course. You either have to just buckle down and read those 3 paragraphs to understand what's going on, or you can do this. Can you put a question mark next to things in your outlines? I need you to understand that if you could learn everything just from outlining books, you wouldn't have teachers. You'd just outline everything, and we'd all be very intelligent. We'd know everything. Okay? Is it possible that maybe a teacher might need to explain that to you? Okay? So it's okay every once in a while to just have your question marks right there and then move on to the next thing. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? All right, so the next thing down here is we have another dot, and it says Mendel's conclusion. Now, last time I told you guys it was okay. It was okay to not like read all that mess, but I said, was there any pictures? But check it out. Do they have pictures for Mendel's conclusion?
Yes.
Do they? They do have some pictures for Mendel's conclusion. How many pictures do they really have? 3. What do you know about the first picture there? It's got parent plants, and they're what? They're tall and short, right? Parents. What's the next thing underneath them? Is that Gen 1? Looking at the picture, what's that true about them?
Same height.
They're all tall, right? They're all regular. Okay? Regular or tall. And then what's the last picture show?
Some are regular.
Generation 2. Some are regular, but what are some?
A short.
And what's it actually like? If you look at the numbers there, what is it? 1/4 are dwarf or short. Okay? So I kind of threw some different things around there because you guys are taking your notes. You're going to say tall or short or dwarf or whatever. But the idea here is, does this picture explain what's going on in this situation? It does, right? Do you see how I use the picture instead of reading? Okay? In science books, you guys should always look at the picture to try and figure out what's going on next. Okay? All right, let's see. What was Gregor? He was 104. Right? And then we're going to flip again. Last page of the section here, we got a star. Okay, and this is on 105, I think. 106. Okay, and this says, alleles interact to produce traits. Alleles interact to produce traits. Okay, alleles interact to produce traits. All right, and then we have some red under there, right? And red says phenotype and genotype. So we got dot here. Phenotype and genotype. And then we're going to have 2 dashes for those, right? And then we have a dot for red. And it says dominant and recessive alleles. We're going to have 2 dashes for that too, right? Because those each have a definition. Okay, I went through this crazy fast, right? Most of you guys are getting this. Some of you guys are struggling. We're going to do this again and again and again and again. We'll do this all the way through this unit, and then we'll do it again in maybe 2 units, so you guys get this down really well. But you guys, your job is to finish this out right now, okay? So finish out section 4.1. You can use those 2 pages, and you guys should have all the information from 4.1 without reading it, okay? Keep working on that.